Have you ever pondered upon the profound longing of humanity to witness the divine manifestation of God? This quest for a tangible connection with the divine is as old as time itself, and it resonates deeply within the verses of Isaiah 64, 1, 5. These verses evoke a potent desire for God to reveal himself for all to see. This longing can be seen as a foreshadowing of the second coming of Christ, when, as prophesied, the Lord himself shall descend from heaven. The verses plead with God, recalling his past deeds and his gracious intentions towards his people. The beauty of these verses lies in the reassurance they offer. They assure us that we have no reason to fear disappointment, either from the lack of fulfillment of God's promise or from the promise itself. His promise is both sure and sufficient. The well-being of his people is intertwined with what God has planned for them, what he is preparing for them, and them for it. Ponder on this. Can we truly believe this and then consider anything too great to expect from his truth, power, and love? The divine plan is spiritual in nature, beyond the grasp of human understanding, yet it is ever present, ever ready. Observe the intimate communion between a gracious God and a gracious soul. We must be conscious of fulfilling our duty in everything that the Lord our God requires. Thou meetest him, the verse says, illustrating God's willingness and eagerness to do good for us. Even though God might have been angry with us for our transgressions, and justifiably so, his anger is fleeting. However, his favor is life itself, continuous and unending, and it is on this favor that we rely for our salvation. In summary, the verses in Isaiah 64, 1, 5 express an intense yearning for God's manifestation, a longing for the second coming of Christ. They remind us of God's past deeds and his gracious intentions for his people. They assure us of the certainty and sufficiency of God's promise. They speak of the spiritual nature of God's plan, which is beyond human comprehension, but always ready. They highlight the intimate communion between God and a gracious soul, and underline the importance of fulfilling our duties to God. They remind us that while God's anger over our transgressions is justified, it is fleeting. In contrast, his favor, which we depend on for our salvation, is life itself, continuous and unending. These verses encourage us to believe in his truth, power, and love, and reassure us that we have nothing too great to expect from him.